walk out to the show and fall at your door. We got that info for you. Touchdown on that plane and buy anything. More than just a podcast for you.
Is it really time to expand the college football playoffs? I'm going to go first and say, yes, I want 16 teams and I want to play one game every week over 4 to 6 weeks. We can start in January, be done by the middle of February. That is my thing. A field of 16. We can do that.
Yeah, I really do. I honestly feel the same way. I feel like if you are in like the Coastal Carolina team, I like the way they see against a SEC team, or I love to see them against, a Big Ten team. Love to see them against a, ACC team. Really see if they're really legitimate. I like you to earn everything you getting. So if you want to be the best team in the country, well, beat everybody. Beat everybody you can. Line up against everybody, line it up. We'll find out on the field who's the best. Not nobody who never played football in their life, on the committee. You know what I'm saying? Only coach the team that you still ain't played, but you making a decision who the best team. You never put a suit on before your life. How can you? You don't know what determination looks like. You ain't ever have it. No.
Real talk.
That ain't cool.
Real talk.
Cool.
And speaking of Coastal, I think they're going to try to do the same thing to Coastal this year that they did to USF. Remember when USF was undefeated? Well, UCF. Remember when they went undefeated and they put them in the Peach Bowl? I think that they're going to try to take Coastal and put them in the Peach Bowl too. And I feel some kind of way about that. I just feel like they should have an opportunity.
Well,
if you get smacked,
in my
you get
opinion,
smacked.
they supposed to play that game like UCF. That's in Orlando. I'm in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? So they got whooped by SEC team. Now you gonna know, were you really that deal? Are you really that deal? It's a full man roster. Everybody got 11 on each side of the ball, right? And you beating everybody else in your conference, blowing them out. Nobody scoring touchdowns, but you go SEC team and they drug you.
Play one of the lower SEC teams and see if you can beat them, coach. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. Play a Kentucky or Ole Miss or somebody that's in the SEC and see if you can beat them. You can beat them. You might be legit. Yeah.
Yes, for real. That's what I think. So the playoff with 16 teams will give us that avenue to actually see about how good the coaches are or how bad they are, how good the development of the players are. You knock a lot of things off by seeing them play against competition. That's how you do it. Just like when you do the little horse race, right? This dude here won it so many times, but when you go against Kentucky Derby, you're going to get the best in the country. You're going to see how good you are. I think that's how it should be for football. Period.
Absolutely.
Like basketball, same way, right?
Isn't that how basketball is?
Yeah.
4 teams.
And that's how FCS is.
Yeah.
So it's doable. It's really doable. And it's not hard. You can take the conference champion from, you know what I'm saying? It's really, really not hard. And you might have to make some teams have to make the decision whether or not they want to be quote unquote independent or whether they want to be a part of a conference. But that's another question. But I just
BYU.
think that
Exactly. Exactly.
I think if you expand it to 16, you might have to shorten the season a little bit though, because like you said, if you were Alabama, you were Georgia, you playing these guys every week. Do you want to go play 4-5 more games? You know what I'm saying? I think you might have to shorten the season up just a little bit. I mean, these dudes is college kids. They don't. I mean, a lot of these kids they are thinking about their self-interest as well. Are you gonna have your players? Because some of these dudes are getting ready for the draft. Some of these, there's other things to think about. And are you paying me? Because I'm doing more. I'm bringing in more games, more revenue.
Facts.
Are you paying me? And how does that affect my future? So it's a lot to think about.
It is.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why they hadn't did it. Don't you think why they haven't done that? Because of the fact that it is a contact sport. And I mean, didn't Chubb just forfeit the rest of his season from OU?
Oklahoma State. Yep, he did.
Oklahoma State. Yeah, because they don't want to get hurt. And I think that's the reason why they have it the way it is with it, just because, what happens is when you play those longer seasons like that, the players end up forfeiting those bowl games anyway because they're not going to play. So you really can't really see a legitimate teams when their top players or top draft picks are forfeiting the rest of the season and foregoing that bowl game.
But just think about this, just think about it, and then I'll let us move on. Some of the bowl games that we have right now, we shouldn't even have them. If you're 5-5,
agreed,
and I ain't even go front, I there. But if you there's some times where you're like, no, you shouldn't be these. It's unnecessary. We played in it. No, I don't need to go to the Idaho Potato Bowl. I'm sorry, I don't need to go to the Pinstripe Bowl. I'm not even going for it. No. So let's think about not having 50,000 bowl games. Let's think about, okay, if we're gonna do a playoff, do you really, I know you didn't had it, but do you really need the Senior Bowl if you're gonna go, if they in a playoff system? Do you really need the what they call it, the East-West Bowl? Like some of these bowls that the college coaches, that NFL coaches come to coach. I mean, you really do have to reimagine the landscape, and the big thing is people saying, I'm gonna give up money. I'm gonna give up money.
I think you can keep the bowls, but you can make it to where those playoff games are the bowls. So like, just like we had the Rose Bowl, say that's the national championship, say the Pinstripe Bowl, say that's Coastal Carolina versus Georgia. That's the Pinstripe Bowl. You go to the next round to another bowl. Like you keep the bowl, but make the playoffs the bowl game.
Within that, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea, brother. It really is.
Look at us.
You know
Look
what?
at us.
In the same sense, don't think about it. This year you can't do it that way. With an all SEC schedule, you know what I'm saying? You can't have those bowl games that way. But I feel like if you were able to have, Coastal Carolina to schedule a Clemson during the regular season, right? So that knocks that off the table. But if you win those games, you're eligible for a bowl, like Coach said, that you're eligible for a bowl. And if you move on, the next bowl game you go to, or the next game you go to. But with the schedule, how they are right now, I feel like if you were diversify, who's playing who, how they playing each other. You're like, the top teams in this particular conference, you got scheduled one game SEC, one game ACC, one game Big Ten, and then all the rest of your conference games or whatever like that. And then the small schools to make money as well, like schedule at HBCU, schedule just certain things like that. If you were to diversify it that way and then have those games like y'all saying, to have it where you earn everything, you go forward, you win, you go next, you win, you go to the next one, then I think that'd be very, very good for everybody involved.
That's a good idea, Jordan. So I'm going to ask, because since we're talking about champions, we're going to do our best of question. So in this, I've been really thinking about this. Which team in college is the most influential team? Which team has changed the way the game is played, or they've changed the culture of college football the most? What y'all got?
That's a good question.
As much as I thought about this when I saw it, and as much as I hate to say it, it's got to be them boys at Bama, man. Like they brought back that smash mouth football. They brought back that, run the ball down your throat football and play good defense. But, over the last few years, they've added some different elements to their offense. Now they got more explosiveness. They never had great quarterbacks, but they never had crazy explosive receivers. But now they got some dudes like, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Jerry Jeudy. Like they've started to diversify the offense beyond just being smash mouth. They got speed with the smash mouth element. So I think that I'd say Alabama. They've been the most influential. Personally, they just, you know what you're gonna get and you can't stop it. It's hard. It's hard to defend that.
I want to say the dude who coached at Mississippi State, I think that he started a trend. Now Alabama's adapted, a lot of other schools adapted. Yes, because he had the run and gun situation. He the one started that. Really, not really started it, but he the one perfected it, in my opinion. He really, really ran some offenses that could really make some things happen. And he won games because of it. And not everybody's adapting that, even the coach at Oklahoma, right? He adapted that, and he has a quarterback, wide receivers, and the whole thing go wild, but they really don't play defense. They're going to outscore you. If you miss one time, we're going to outscore y'all. And I think that's where it is today. They're going to outscore you.
I'm I still think Alabama has the best influential program, and I think it goes even beyond. They're putting kids know that they're going to go to college if you go, because you're going to be seen on TV every Sunday. You're going against the best in the nation every Sunday, so your chances of going to the league is better. I don't hear about a lot of the drama, the sanctions. I don't hear about a lot of drama from Alabama. They might be there, and if it is there, it's hush hush, and you don't hear about it. So to me, that's a great culture of, we don't have no scandals here. We don't have no foolishness going on here. Y'all come here and you do what you got to do, because if you don't, we got somebody behind you that's gonna come in and take your place real quick, fast, in a hurry. And then I love the fact that he produces coaches, and Saban does a great job of developing coaches. And so those coaches end up going forth and getting head coaching positions or getting major positions other places, even though they can't beat him when they go against him. But he does a great job of developing coaches. And then again, they were $84 million in the black, 2 years ago? And look how much money that just the football team created for that university. And so that's the culture, I think, that Alabama brings, that sets them apart from everybody else, that everybody needs to emulate, and why you want your program to be similar to what Alabama. Again, plus they beating you on both sides of the ball. They playing defense. Their defense is gonna lock you down, and their offense is gonna run you down. I mean, they throwing the ball and they can run you down. They always have the running back. You know me. We got our kid. I love all my kids that came from Kentucky that's here. Harris came from Kentucky, from right down the street. Wills that's starting at the Bengals right now, that played on the O line, came from Alabama. Grew up here. Me and his mom are really good friends. So of course, and plus I'm from Alabama. I was born in the Mobile area, so I was born in Alabama. So Alabama.
So I'm going to say I thought about this question a lot. And for me, it was a tie. I'm not going to say Alabama. The first team that I believe really has moved the culture of football the most is Miami. Specifically, Miami's in the 80s and 90s. When you hit 80 to 2000 at Miami, every uniform innovation, the idea of team unity, us against the world, we are a family, we ride together, we die together. No, every team wants to be that team, but very few have done it as successfully as Miami has. And I remember when, Jordan, you probably remember this too. Remember when Miami cut their jerseys?
Yeah.
Remember that? As parents, we were taking our children's little league jerseys to actually get them altered so that they wouldn't have the traditional sleeves, so that they would have the Miami.
Yeah, we wanted them cut. You had to have a cut.
Y'all were like 9. My son was like 7. Jordan, you guys were like 9 and 10 years old.
That's the last time. That's when Miami was nice, man. Ken Dorsey and them boys.
I remember.
That's the team. Come on. I ain't gonna lie. They were off the chain back in the day. Yes.
They had the little cut in the back. Oh my God. To be a team mom meant that you knew, even in Little League, you was gonna collect some jerseys.
Alterations.
Collect some fun. The seamstress still know my face right now to this day. That's how many times I have had to alter jerseys. So for me, it was traditional Miami, like specifically, you're talking about 80s, 90s Miami, early 2000s. And the team that really, in my opinion, has started revolutionizing the offense was Oregon. Chip Kelly's Oregon. That fast, Nick Saban had to respond to that fast. That we're gonna be off the ball in less than 5 seconds. That when Chip Kelly was able to successfully implement speed.
Absolutely.
That he parlayed that to an NFL job. No, he shouldn't have been in the NFL coaching it, but
no business.
You can't replicate that. He could only he only did it successfully at Oregon, but what he did there, that caused other offenses to say, oh, we got to change. Nick Saban said, oh, we can't be smash mouth because speed. And what you have seen in Alabama, to all of your points, is Nick Saban has a unique ability, y'all know he's my favorite, to take all of the trends and make those trends work at Alabama. So he still got smashed. Alabama will still run it down your throat, but they're going to get off the ball. They're going to be quick and they're going to pass, and they have effective receivers. But I think that the evolution in football at the collegiate level really started with Oregon and Chip Kelly. They're win the day. They're let's get off the ball. If it's 10 seconds, you move too slow. We need to be getting a play off. What they would run, 50, 60 plays a game? Like, it was fast.
See, that just goes to show you that with Chip Kelly, see, people underrate Marcus Mariota in college. That's a Heisman Trophy winner. When you don't have a Heisman Trophy winner, that system don't run as smoothly. Like, yeah, they had some success, but it goes to show you it's about the players. You got the players is the ones that's going. You got to have great staff, of course, but the players, you got to have the players. That's why these people out here recruiting like that. You got to have the players.
He could not duplicate at Philly what he did at Oregon because he didn't have the players. And then when he went back to UCLA, still hasn't been able to duplicate it because UCLA is not, and sorry, my friends who have kids that go there, no disrespect, but that level of speed that you get at Oregon, that level of get off the ball, UCLA ain't messing with
it. It's not the same. Now, I can be totally honest with you. I grew up a University of Miami fan, right? Because in Florida, that's all we know, right? You had some Gators, you had some Florida State dudes, but for the most part, everybody was throwing the U up. Everybody, right? And I wasn't an Alabama fan until like a year and a half ago when my son signed with them. Other than that, I didn't, honestly, truth, I didn't like them because they were winning everything. Man, somebody beat them. But now I'm like, man, nobody can beat them. I had to jump on board with him. You know what I'm saying? Because reality is that Saban know what he's doing. He know what he's doing.
Is a wreck. So I don't even know how this happened, but we're from Mississippi. So she was a rack. Growing up, she was an Alabama fan. I remember watching Alabama, and she talked about Bear Bryant. I didn't even know who that was. I was a Miami fan and a Michigan fan because that's where I went to school. I always liked Miami because they appealed to me, but it's been really, really interesting. So to me, that the trends that Miami set with culture, as far as team, us against the world, as far as how you look good.
Yeah, their swagger was off the chain.
Still is. Still is.
Yeah, I was looking at their units yesterday because at our school, so Diaz, our principal at our school, and Diaz at Miami are cousins. And so when we open up our new school, guess what colors are? Our colors are Miami Hurricane colors. And so when I was looking at the uniform, that's what I said. I said, "Oh, I love them black uniforms with the orange." And I was like, and I guarantee in a year or two we'll have them uniforms at Frederick Douglass. So yeah, the swagger is off the chain. You can't go wrong with it.
Okay. So
they brought out the turnover chain. That was the first ones. They innovated that too. They stay on top of it.
Still set the culture. So those are my two teams, Miami and Oregon. And so
that's it.